Today, we're going to look at how control works in ways most people never even realize. We'll explore how entire populations can be manipulated, how societies are shaped, and how power is wielded without a single shot being fired. This isn't about overt domination. It's about something far more subtle, something often referred to as silent weapons. In this framework, everything comes down to energy, not just the kind you're familiar with like electricity or fuel, but social and economic energy. Money, labor, resources, these are all forms of energy that can be controlled. And once you control energy, you control society. In fact, controlling this energy is the most effective way to control large groups of people. You see, using brute force or violence is too obvious. It leads to resistance. Instead, the systems in place are designed to manage this energy quietly, efficiently, and most importantly, without anyone realizing they are being controlled. The people at the top understand this and have perfected the art of using these systems to shape and manipulate entire populations. Let's break this down. In the physical world, energy is something that flows and can be manipulated. It's the same with social and economic systems. The idea here is simple. Whoever controls the flow of energy, whether that's money, resources, or time, controls the direction society takes. This is not an abstract concept. It is very real, and it affects every aspect of our lives. Now, how do they do it? The economy is essentially a massive system of energy exchange. People work, produce, consume, and move resources around. It's all energy, constantly flowing. And those who understand how to manipulate this energy, the people who design the systems we live in, can push this energy in whichever direction benefits them. It's a method that has been fine-tuned to a degree where it's nearly invisible. There's no need for force because everything is built into the structure itself. The tools of control here are not what you'd expect. You won't see tanks or soldiers. The weapons are subtle, often financial, and they come in the form of policies, price changes, and resource manipulation. Just like in physics, if you can control the flow of energy, you can influence behavior. And when you control the economy, you control the population. This is done quietly through economic means, not by pointing a gun at your head, but by adjusting the systems you rely on. Control the flow of money, food, resources, and suddenly you control the flow of people's lives. It's all about creating the right pressures at the right time in the right places. And it works because most people don't see it happening. They don't realize that every aspect of their lives, from how much they work, to what they buy, to what they consume on a daily basis, is being shaped by forces they never directly encounter. This system of control operates on a global scale, touching every country, every economy, and every individual in ways that are both subtle and overwhelming. Think of it this way. Prices go up, jobs disappear, inflation happens. To most people, it looks like bad luck or bad timing. But what if these events are actually deliberate? What if economic instability is engineered to keep people in a constant state of need, uncertainty, and dependency? When essential goods like gas, food, or housing become expensive, people are forced to react in predictable ways. They might work more, they might go into debt, or they might cut back on other parts of their lives. This is a form of control, but it doesn't come with violence or protest. It's something people feel, but don't fully understand. This is what's meant by economic warfare. It's a battlefield, but the weapons used are far more sophisticated. They're financial. The manipulation of economic factors acts like a weapon, a silent weapon. The people affected by these economic shifts aren't aware that they're being manipulated. They react in predictable ways because they need to survive. It's all part of a system designed to keep the masses under control without them ever realizing it. Here's an example. When the price of something like gasoline or food suddenly spikes, you feel it immediately. It hits your wallet, it hits your routine, and suddenly you're in crisis mode. You have to cut down on other expenses. You have to change your habits. And that's the key. It forces you to focus all your energy on dealing with this new economic reality. Meanwhile, you don't have the time or mental space to question why this is happening. You don't question the system that allowed it to happen. You just react as you've been conditioned to do. Every economic shock, whether the price spike, a recession, or inflation, acts like a carefully timed bomb. It's designed to push people into survival mode, to keep them too busy, too worried to ever look up and see the bigger picture. And the people who control these systems? They know exactly what they're doing. They know how to use the tools of economics to control societies, keeping people locked in a cycle of reaction, never questioning, never resisting. Now, economic control is only one part of the equation. There's also social engineering. Social engineering is the practice of shaping society, not through laws or force, but through gradual, subtle influence. Education, media, and even entertainment play a role here. Think about how education is structured. What are we really taught in school? Are we taught to question the system, to challenge authority, to think critically about the world around us? Or are we taught to memorize, to follow rules, and to accept what we're given? The answer is clear. The goal isn't to create thinkers. It's to create workers, consumers, people who will follow the path laid out for them. And it starts young. By the time we finish our education, most of us are already conditioned to accept the world as it is, without questioning the systems of control that shape it. This is social engineering, molding society to ensure that the majority of people fall in line without ever realizing they've been conditioned. Let's take a closer look at the education system. The focus is always on obedience, memorization, and standardized testing. Students are taught to memorize information and regurgitate it, not to think critically about the structures that shape their lives. This ensures that the majority of people will never question the systems of power. It ensures that the average person will accept their role as a worker, as a consumer, without ever thinking deeply about what's really happening. Critical thinking is discouraged. Conformity is rewarded. And by the time you're an adult, this conditioning is so deep that most people never even consider the possibility that the systems they live in are designed to control them. Social engineering works because it starts at the most fundamental level: how we're educated, how we're raised, and how we're taught to think. And then there's the role of entertainment. What purpose does it serve in society? On the surface, it seems like entertainment is just that: entertainment, something to distract us, something to pass the time. But look deeper. The constant stream of media, the endless distractions, the barrage of information, it's not random. It's another form of control. By keeping the population distracted with trivial matters, by filling their minds with endless entertainment and noise, the system ensures that people stay focused on the unimportant. It keeps them from thinking too deeply about the real issues. It's all part of the same strategy: to keep people passive, distracted, and disconnected from the forces shaping their lives. And now let's talk about technology. Technology is one of the most powerful tools of control in the modern world. It's everywhere. We carry it with us, we use it every day, and it's integrated into every aspect of our lives. But it's not just a convenience. It's a tool of control. Everything we do, every transaction we make, every move we make online is tracked, logged, and analyzed. Every time you swipe your phone, use a credit card, or scan a barcode, data is being collected. And that data is used to control you. The more data the system collects, the more accurately it can predict your behavior. It's not just about knowing what you'll buy next. It's about knowing how you'll respond to price changes, shortages, or even political events. The system uses this data to control, not through direct means, but by influencing the options available to you, shaping your choices without you even realizing it. When they control the data, they control the flow of information. And when they control the flow of information, they control how you perceive reality. It's a silent form of control, invisible to most, but incredibly powerful. But here's the real kicker. The system relies on your consent. Whether you realize it or not, you're participating in it every single day. You're part of the energy flow. You work, you consume, you pay taxes, and all of this keeps the system running. The most important thing is that it requires your participation. Every time you use money, every time you vote, every time you engage with the system, you're giving your consent to it. The system is built on the assumption that people will continue to go along with it, not questioning the bigger picture, just going through the motions. And as long as the population consents, the system keeps working. Without consent, this system would collapse. But the way it's set up ensures that most people don't even realize they're giving their consent. They think they're making choices, but in reality, the options they're presented with are already designed to guide them in specific directions. It's control, but without the chains. Every time you follow the path laid out for you, you're helping to keep the system alive. Silent weapons are effective because they operate without direct confrontation. There's no army, no violence, no overt display of power. The manipulation is psychological, economic, and social. It's built into the systems we interact with every day. People are controlled through the gradual tightening of options, the manipulation of their resources, and the constant pressure to survive in an environment designed to favor those at the top. When you look at the way society is structured, it becomes clear that the power doesn't come from politicians or laws. It comes from control over the flow of resources, from the ability to manipulate economies, and from shaping social behavior through education, media, and technology. Silent weapons are real. They're not theories or speculation. They are methods of control that operate through the manipulation of economic systems, social structures, and technological advancements. The most effective form of control is the kind that people don't even notice. And that's exactly what silent weapons are designed to do. They're quiet, they're subtle, and they're powerful. And as long as the systems that wield them remain in place, they will continue to shape our lives, whether we're aware of it or not.